In this video, we're going to look at how Polypad is integrated into the Maths My Way teaching slides. So the first lesson we're going to look at is lesson 2 from unit 15 in first class, which is all about halves. And you can see that the children will be working with tangrams, and on our teaching slides, we'll have virtual manipulatives of the tangrams so that front of class, you can support the children as they engage with the activities. So this is an activity where the children have two triangles from the tangram set, and each triangle represents one half of a whole shape. And the children are asked to manipulate the triangles to move them around and see what different shapes they can make. And here you have the physical resource on the screen that you can show examples in front of the class, that children can come up and make their examples on the board, and play around with the different shapes that can be made. When you select a shape, there are two buttons come up. One is the copy button, which allows you to make a copy of a shape, and the other one is the delete button, which allows you to delete it. This is very handy so that if a child has made one example, you might want to keep the record of their work on the board while you show another one. So instead of having to move their one, you might copy the shapes rather than changing it completely. In the Polypad area, you'll also see the blue symbol with the cube that looks like a P, and when you hover over that, it says View on Polypad. When I click that, it'll bring you out into the Polypad website itself, and you'll see the same activity in that website. It just means that there's a little bit more space there. It makes the tangram pieces bigger, and it's just another option for you. So you have the two options of using it within the slides, or to click the P if you wanted more space to show more of the children's work. Another lesson where we use them is lesson 3, where we use Polypad, is lesson 3 in the same unit, and this is where children are sharing sets of objects into 2 equal groups. Again, we always recommend using our teaching slides in full screen to limit any other distractions that are on the screen for the children when you're going through your lesson. So in this lesson, Wind and Bolt share some marbles. And the whole question is, are the marbles shared equally or are they shared unequally? Who do you agree with and why? And again, this is built in Polypad, which means that you can move the marbles around, make them equal. You can also change the question. So you can add marbles, again, by pressing the copy button, and marbles can be deleted, and you have a huge amount of flexibility. So an interesting question you might ask the children is, you might have the same number of marbles for Wind and for Bolt, but you might have them arranged differently. So you might have Wind's marbles arranged like that and Bolt's arranged in a straight line, and asking, do you think the marbles are shared equally? You might change the number and see, as the number changes, how does that affect the children's responses. You might also take all of the marbles. If I do a click and drag, I can select them all together. You might take all the marbles and bring them outside the area, and ask the children, can you share these marbles equally between Wind and Bolt? And same as with the previous lesson, if I click on the Polypad icon, it will bring the lesson into Polypad itself. And it just might be, it's another functionality that's there for you. Finally, we have our second class edition 2 lesson where the deeds blocks are used. So we have our animations using the Dean blocks first of all, but then for the different lessons, there are links out to Polypad with those resources that you need for this lesson right there for you. And again, all of the functionality is there with making duplicates, with deleting, moving things around. If you wanted to make big numbers, you can zoom down to add in loads of them. Like and you can select, so like if you wanted to quickly create extra ones, I could copy one, then select both of them and copy again, then select all four and copy again, and I get 8. So quickly you can generate lots of different numbers with these resources. With the resources on the left hand side, if you want to remove those images, you just click the tiles and then you have a huge amount of workspace, and I can select things, move them around, and recolor things as I want. So huge amount of functionality there for you with the Polypad. And having Polypad integrated into our slides means that the digital tools that you need to help illustrate maths for the children in your class are there for you at your fingertips. You're not rooting around looking for websites, drawing pictures, or trying to use concrete resources that the children can't see. It's all there for you. When you're using Google Chrome as well, it's very easy to share these manipulatives with the children in your class if they have devices. So for example, if I go back to the marbles lesson in Polypad, so I have the example here of Wind and Bowl sharing the marbles, and I have the virtual manipulatives here. If the children in my class had iPads the day I was doing this, and I want them to be able to create their own examples on the iPads themselves, all I'd have to do is click the 3 dots up in the top right corner, scroll down to Save and Share, and scroll down to Create QR Code. This pops a QR code up on the screen. And then if the children have their own devices, they just open up the camera app, hold it up to the QR code and click the link that comes up on the screen. And then every child in your class now has this on their personal device, and there's so many possibilities for what they can do with it. You could have one child making an example and asking their partner, are these shared equally? You could have children choosing a set, like taking a set of marbles outside and asking their partner, can this set of marbles be shared equally between Wind and Bolt? And of course, with the number of marbles there on the screen at the minute, the answer is no, they cannot. So a huge amount of scope there for really exploring the activities in great depth with the class.